In this slideshow, we intend to show you all of the useful things you can get and the information that is available at the Altrusa International website. It's very exciting what they've done with it and all of the new features that it has, and there is more stuff being added daily. So let's take a look. To bring up the Altrusa International website, go to your browser and type in www.altrusa.org, and that brings up what we're going to call the public home page. The public home page is ones that anybody can see when going there, and we'll talk a little bit about the different pieces on this web page. But first I want to talk about some of these functions across the top of the page. For instance, locate a club. If I click on locate a club, then you can go down and see a list of all the districts and a list to their district website, and you can see a list of any locations, the areas that are covered by that district. Now anything that is blue and underlined is something I can click on to go somewhere else within the website. So if I click on District 1, what it's going to do is bring up a list then of clubs in that district, and if they have a website, it'll have a link to that club's website. I go back to the list of districts. If I want to click on and see the website for a district, then I'm going to click on the website address to the right of the district name. Like here, I'm going to click on the link, and it brings me to the District 3's website with all the information about it. And remember too, at this point, is that this website, this District 3 website, is a public page also. Everything that you can get to without having to log in are public pages. So I have now two windows open, one for the District 3 website and one for our main Altrusa website. So I'm going to close this one by clicking on the little X in the corner. If it had actually opened up a second window, then I would have to click on an X out of the window, like here in this case, the red X at the top. That would close the entire window. So I'm going to go back to the main page and talk about the next item on this list across the top, and that is Foundation. So I'm going to click on Foundation, and it brings up the home page for Foundation, where it has information about the Foundation, the programs like Lamplighters, if you want to find out about Lamplighters, or Club 21. If you go to Club 21, it's got all these different pieces that it does: disaster relief, the endowment, grants, a list of grants that are available. You can do a contribution. You can do foundation forms and publications, and this is of interest to clubs because you do have the foundation annual report that you might need to do if your local club has a foundation that's under the umbrella of the International Foundation. You will need to file that yearly. You have various programs that have been done, newsletters that have come out, grants that have been awarded from Foundation, and then the forms where you can fill out and apply for project grants, individual grants. There's all the applications here for doing that. And there's information about state raffle laws if your state requires a special information if you're going to do a raffle, say at your conference. The last thing, and I'm going to close that window because again I have two open. I have the main one and the extra one. Next thing I'm going to do is donate. Donate goes to actually the foundation site and allows you to make a donation, and you can pick the type of donation you're making. And the last one across the top is Store. And Store is for purchase of Altrusa International items. And here is a list of items and their various costs. If I change this drop down to, say, promotional material, I'll get a different list. So there's more things that you can get. For instance, here's the various shirts that you can buy, travel mugs, wristbands, recruitment posters, all of that kind of stuff is on the promotional page. So that's it for the store. And now we're going to go back to the main page and go back to the front page for the public area for Altrusa. I want to talk a little bit about the navigation because it's important that you understand how this works. If you hover across the different names up here, it's going to bring down drop down of various things. When you're hovering over one of these, some of these have a little white arrow to the right. That means that when you hover over it, it's going to pull out additional items to the right. Now if they don't have a white arrow, you can click right on that item, but if they do have a white arrow, you don't want to click until you get over to the one it is that you particularly want to select. So in this case I selected Board of Directors, and it's going to list all of the different members of the board, a little bit about them so that you can learn about the members of the board. There's Altrusa FAQs. Those are frequently asked questions for non-Altrusans about Altrusa. How to contact Altrusa, principles, history of Altrusa. Under what we do, we have leadership, information about the leadership opportunities, service projects, and the global impact of Altrusa. One thing before I leave the what we do section I would like to mention is service projects. If you go to the service projects, it lets you select either by the project type. Maybe you want to look at service projects or literacy projects, and for either a specific district or a specific club or whatever, you do a search and it's going to show you a list of all the things that have been reported to International as service projects for the various clubs. So you can do a search on fundraisers or service projects or whatever and find out good ideas for things that your own club might want to do. Get involved. Clubs and districts is the same as the located district that we investigated up above. How to form a club just explains on what the process is for somebody who's thinking of starting one. Newsroom, if you want to see past issues of the International Altrusan. Club of the Month is where a particular club gets featured each month. Events, so under events we have like calendar of events, International Literacy Day, 2011 convention, that's information that came out, highlights and newsletters at that time. Astra, about Young Altrusans, our youth group, or contacting Altrusa directly. However, as members of Altrusa, our biggest interest is going to be under the member login site. So I'm going to go to member login, type in my name, actually it's your email address, and then your password. If you have not yet set one up, then you will need to do that. It's going to use what International thinks of as your email address, and then you assign a password. If International does not know your email address, or if they have an old one, you might need to call the office and explain to them about your email address so that they can set it up correctly so you can log in. So this is the landing page for the member area, and it has a message from our president. It has login information or registration information and information about the upcoming International Convention, which is going to be held in New Zealand in 2013. It has congratulations to clubs who've gotten recognized by International. It has member FAQs, frequently asked questions that members might have. Forms, so that you can go directly to area and find out all the various forms you're going to need, like membership forms and all the kinds of things that come up. Member manuals and marketing toolkit. And we also have a blog called the Altrusa Wall. So when you go to the landing page for Altrusa International, you have the most important stuff that you're probably going to want most often listed right down here with big buttons to the right so that you can go directly to one of these items. I would also like to talk in terms of navigating around is that there is an index, and this is something that is new since last year. It has links, direct links to all the things that, and it's alphabetical or by area, things that you probably will want. If you find that when you're looking at this index that there's things that you can't find anyhow, because sometimes navigating you're looking at, all right, what area did they put that under? So if you can't find something that you feel is important, please let International or the Communications Committee know so that we can add those things to make navigating on the Altrusa site easier for you. So I'm going to go back to that home page, which is the welcome message. And it's got some of the same things that the main page has, the public page, except that it's like got our goals, which are the goals for the International for this biennium. Committees, it has something under each of the committees, and under each of the committees, most of them have goals and then resources. Resources are things that say the ASTRA chair in your club or your district might want to use or reference. Clubs at large, communications, leadership. It's got all of these things. It's very useful. I think you'll go in there quite a bit. Under International, it has the staff, International volunteer lists, web development. That's if you're for items that you might need if you're putting a web page under the International umbrella. A member search where you can try to find other members. So you can have their, if you've met someone at a conference or a convention or just within your district, you were doing a club visit and you remember, oh yeah, that was, I can remember her last name but I don't know what the first name was. You can search and try to find that person that way, and that's something that's pretty useful. My Profile is where you can change your own password. Marketing materials goes to the same place as that hot button on the main page for downloads of various information for marketing. Bylaws and resolutions, the parliamentarian, legal, insurance, financial statements. Let me get over, I need more room here. Financial statements. And then two things that are very important. Shared Files Club and Shared Files District. Depending on the club and district that you belong to, you will see different things under here. Your club, if you have things that you want to share within your club but you do not want it to be public information, it could be forms, financial statements, it could be anything, you can go to Shared Files Club and upload documents, etc., that you might want to have be shared. Could be a history of your club that has been a running information that you want to keep somewhere in a remote location and not in somebody's garage in a box. Shared Files District is much the same thing. So in this case, if you click on either Shared Files District or Club, it brings up a file page, and it looks very much like the browser on your website. So for Shared Files District, I'm on District 5. This would be club logos. So we have all the club logos for the different clubs so that they can't get lost. Somebody changes position and they can't say, I don't know where I put it. List of club presidents, conference planner. Now your district and your clubs will have different information. This is just District 5's. That if you navigate and you find, okay, I want this, then you click on that and it will download it to your local computer so that you can print it off or whatever you want to do with it. So that was under International at the very bottom, Shared Files Club or District. Under District, it has information about your district as well. District roster, the district roster audit, service projects, club annual report status. That is the reports that come out that you submit as a club to International. And some of these things under District you might not see. The things that are showing here are things that I see as a governor-elect of District 5. If you are a treasurer, you may see things that I don't see. If you are on the International board, you might see additional things as well. So depending on what your position is within your club and within your district or within International, you might have some different tabs up here. So keep that in mind when I'm showing you things. Under publications, you've got newsletters in the International Altrusa that you can go look at copies. The forum, letters, forms, manuals, honored clubs. And then under events, we have the District Conference 2013. That's all the district conferences that are coming up with the dates and the rest. So here are all of the dates of what district, what the dates are, where it's being located, and who's the international representative that's going to be visiting at that district for their conference. Also under events, we have the Convention 2013, which has all the information about registering for the convention in New Zealand at this point. Has the calendar, and it has information about the International Literacy Day. So that pretty well covers what's in the Altrusa website. If you see this page when you're trying to download something from altrusa.org, such as a file or the International Altrusan, and it pops up with this message saying, oh no, something's trying to change your computer, remember that Altrusa International is a trusted site, and you don't have to worry about it containing a virus if you try and download something from that site. So just don't worry about it if you see it. I know there's a lot of concerns about security, but altrusa.org is trusted. You have questions on the material in this presentation? Please feel free to contact any member of the Altrusa International Communications Committee. For a listing of those committee members, go to www.altrusa.org, log into the member area, select Committees, then Communications Committee, or post your questions on the Altrusa Communications and Marketing group on Facebook.